Good evening, all our supporters in the internet and everybody who is watching. Today is a Friday, and we are going to look at what is happening in the country right now and news headlines. To begin with, let me just go to the Twitter and see what the Twitter is saying because there's quite a lot in the Twitter. Um, mhm. So Ruto orders free entry for Kenyans grade 10 students in school, and I think this is a good move. And the only issue that I have whether the whether the teachers will accommodate, because you know how it has been very hard, especially for parents even buying school uniform. And also today I listened to him. He was saying that he is going to look into the issue of uniform, and that one also is a good move by president, especially because you find that when people go to school, the students pay quite uh, different amounts, especially when it comes to the uniform. There are those who pay up to around 25, some are paying 17, some are paying, it varies. And you find that some parents, because of that, not able to at least um, pay or buy the uniform for their children. They end up not joining a school, or they end up being sent home. There is also a day somebody reached out to me about they already bought the uniform. They did not buy the uniform, but they had the school fee. But the money for the uniform was expensive for them, and it was going to eat in their school fee. And let me just read this. Ruto directed all grade 10 students to report to senior secondary school immediately, regardless of fee or uniform, to ensure that first CBC cohorts transition smoothly. Education CS Julius Migos Ogamba backed this by telling principal to admit everyone using junior uniform, and a total of Kenya shillings 44.2 billion capitation already released, which praised for compassion by figures like Esther Passaris and UNICEF. Critics see is at a temporary measure amid funding debates, with MP Ndindi Nyoro suggesting for NGCF cuts for broader free education, and others warning on future dropouts. That is a story that is carried. And this is also what President has said. We have removed the police from managing exams because exams are part of learning, not a matter of life and death. So that is something that President is saying. President also, I'm directing that no child should remain at home because of school fee. President William Ruto said that. So those are a few that are making headlines. Before I invite in my good friend, Miguda, to say hi to the people. There's also issue here. Northern Kenya media boycotts Gashagwa interview over divisive remarks. I remember yesterday. This is what media outlets from Mandera, Garissa, and Wajir pulled out of the Thursday interview at Gachagua Karen home, stating his focus on ethnic tension and unsubstantiated attacks clash with national unity and responsibility. They are lying, because what Rigathi is asking them, Rigathi is just asking them, what are they doing with the money that they've been getting? Especially, there's no water, there's no electricity, and some of those leaders, they have very high-rise building in Nairobi. So that's what they're not confronting the issue. That is not the issue why they pulled out. But I think the issue that why they pulled out, they did not want to be accountable. Accountable to your leaders. There's some questions that you might disagree with Rigathi Gachagua on some issues, but especially some of the issues that he was raising as a journalist. Your work is not to your work is to give information. So for them, they did not do good because they denied the people of Northeastern, especially, to get good information. Yes, Miguda, how are you doing?
Carrying on well.
Yes. How is everything?
Everything is quite good. This
Yes.
good evening.
Mhm.
Where I am.
All right, thank you so much. We're just looking at President William Ruto directive yesterday, where he ordered no student or no any other child should stay home because of school fee and school uniform. They should report, and I think like even the area chiefs were given um, the directive so they can fish out. Especially the kids who are staying home because of school fee and school uniform. And yesterday also I saw supporting member of parliament Caleb Amisi. They were walking door to door to make sure that all the directive of the president is implemented by making sure that those kids they should go and report to school.
That's a very good directive. The one which was given by Mr. President. It was very good directives towards chiefs because chiefs are the one who are at the local, at the grassroots. They are dealing with the people, so they can ensure that they fish out all candidates who are hanging out without going to school. But all in all, I can just say, what about the schools? Because if the schools principals can actually not concur with the presidential directives, it is not going to be fair because we have seen some occasions.
Mhm,
But even if you admit them, for example, in boarding schools, there are personal issues
mhm,
like box, like
mhm.
utensils, like you have basins, those personal items. You
Yeah.
cannot go to school without those personal items. So all in all, the parents must chip in.
Okay, despite all that, but I feel like if president really meant what he was saying by making sure that these kids report to school, that is a very good idea. And I saw on the statement the secretary of education say that a total of 44.2 billion was released as a capitation. So my worry is especially that. When you look at the fee structure, I think like you've interacted with the fee structures, especially you find that the government is only capitating something like around 22,000, and the rest should be done by the parents. So you find that the ones that are being paid by the parents, these are the ones that are used to run the school, especially for miscellaneous expenses. That how is government going to compensate for that?
That's what I was saying. It's a very good directive by the
Yeah.
government.
Hmm.
But even if they issued money to schools, remember that is the annual money they usually give to schools. They just go directly to that percentage. I remember in a class of 40, maybe 30 pupils or students have paid the entire fee. Then
Mm,
the 20,000 have been carried by government. What about the 10 students? It means the 10 students are going to get only 20 Ks from government, but the rest, where they're going to get it from? That's the question
yeah.
they're asking here. And that's what I was telling you in terms of admission, it entails a lot. If you're taking your kid to a boarding school, for instance, not even a boarding, even day school, there are
Mhm,
some other extra expenses like remedials. Who is going to
mhm,
cater for your kid remedials? Because maybe a class of 50, 40 have paid for remedials, 10 have not paid for remedials. Are they not going to be taken to remedials? Not only remedials, but also there is welfare amount, whereby these are just extra charges apart from fee. There are
mm,
schools you find that remedials are 10 Ks, then welfare 1,000, then issue to branding. How do you brand your uniforms? Then you
yeah.
purchase the uniform. Then
Mhm,
also there are some things like ID cards. You must pay for your ID card. So you can't be in school without ID card. That's what I was telling you.
mm,
Even though the government has paid their capitation, which they have to pay, but there are some extra charges that
mhm,
must be paid by the parents. There are some extra even if it is not fee, but you
mhm,
cannot be in a school that the government has told me to go to school without a school uniform, without branding, without
mm,
welfare, without remedial, without admission. those things are very vital for you to operate in a school because you have to be admitted. And there are some parents who don't have even a penny right now to pay for school. There are some parents who they can only afford 5Ks. That's the maximum they can afford. And that's a reality. So when he was speaking to them, you ought
Mm.
to have analyzed it broader that what about those other extra charges, those other extra expenses. But let me tell you, the president has actually received the rightful intel
Mm.
because most people haven't reported to school. That's a reality. The
Yeah.
people who have reported to school are fewer than the people who are at home. So in terms of intels, in terms of information, he has received the proper one. That's the correct one. But now in terms of solving these issues, is
Mm.
not going to be solved. It is not going to be solved amicably.
Yeah, Miguda, I agree with you that the president has received the intel, and the population maybe that is admitted and the population that is staying at home is bigger than those who have reported to school. But now, when you look at the directive of the president, looking in the long term, do you think that based on how sometimes we usually witness things are happening, do you think this will be sustainable? Because like this was like a directive that has been given, do you think it will be sustainable even for the teachers, for the schools where by the government give the capitation, which is like yearly, that in a year they're going to give a capitation to each and every student of 22,000 and some hundreds, which is constant, yes. But you remember, the school has to run though. So will this one be sustainable in the near future, or so many students are still going to drop, or it is a political PR to make sure that people go to school? There's some of the things that also we need to ask ourselves, because this was something that I don't think that president there was a plan for it, because if there was a plan for it, there ought to have been a communication earlier enough, especially to let the parents know that this is what is going to happen. Like what I saw the member of parliament for Saboti was doing, like walking in homes to homes to make sure that these kids go to school, that like it's like is kind of like enforcing the directive that was given by the president. But to me, from my own view, I feel it is a very good idea which was not planned for, but in the long run it is not going to be sustainable.
I got your point. Also, the issue of area member of parliament for Saboti
Yeah.
walking door to door.
Mhm.
That is also another PR because you cannot walk in the entire constituency. No one can walk door to door.
No, with a group.
Even
Actually,
if
did you see that video where he had a group of young men and women? They were making sure, you know.
if it was delegated, distributed, then it can. But one person cannot walk in the entire constituency door to door. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But if there were people who were per ward, they were used in ward, each and every ward or sub-location,
Mm.
who are going to work to ensure that one is possible. There are some PR. What you are saying is never sustainable. Like I've told you, I got friends who are teachers. I interact with them.
Yeah.
When you interact with them, they'll tell you that they depend on that remedial.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that they depend on their monthly salary.
Hmm.
And it is not enough. There are some environment whereby you must look on how you can make extra. It
Yeah.
is not enough for them. So that's why they have introduced remedial, which they are in concurrent with the government, that it
Yeah.
is not illegal. It is very much legal. That if I go extra hours, which is not within the context of the provision of the government,
Yeah.
the students must pay. And sometimes they call parents. The parents usually agree unanimously that we are going to pay you teachers this amount of money. We are going to pay even 5K is each. That's where the problem is. With the capitation cater for every student,
Mm.
there's no problem.
But,
But
but but you know,
it means that
okay, go ahead.
in the near future, we might end up having many dropouts because if it comes this year, then some
Mm.
people have just studied using that money,
Mhm.
whereas there are some charges which have not been paid, like the issue of meals. This it will
Mhm.
force school to send those because you cannot compel school not to send people. You can admit them, yes, but later when there will be unsustainability in the school, it will force them to send those people with fee balances. For instance, when we admitted previously people, we never paid the entire fee. It means we have balance like 13Ks, even
Yes.
13Ks, 10Ks. So when
Yeah.
our kids will be sent back home, even the ones which has been forced to go to school by government, they will be sent back home. So it's just a
Yeah.
matter of admission. But when as school runs, it will force them to be sent home each and every time, and they will not concentrate in the classes. So it's just a matter of, in my view, it's a matter of, because it was never planned. It could be even a program before we begin the new year, January, before admissions. But it has just come
Yeah.
in after the intels have been received that people are at home. So it's just something that is not, it is never sustainable. At the same time, it is not
Mm.
proper calculated, because they are going to give schools hard time. At the same time, they are going to give parents hard time because they will be sending them out. But I don't oppose people to go to school. They should go. And these are now the reasons why we are advocating for free education. Now
Yeah.
it is getting a sense that we ought to have free education, because once it is free, there's no need of many people not joining.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I can also see our good brother Musimamo Isaiah with us. I mean, good. I agree with everything that you said about we are not opposed to anybody, and we applaud the president for giving that directive. But especially from the look of things, because we are in Kenya, we know how things are being done. Because the directive that the president has given, there are so many things that has not been put on consideration. The president did not even specify that, okay, for now, for school uniform, yeah, say that, okay, they should go and use this, they should go with their previous school uniforms, yeah. Which is okay. But now, my main issue is, like, if you tell the parents that this is catered for, the main reason why those children did not report, or the main reason why they did not report to school, is because there's inadequate finance, especially to facilitate the education. And now you've given direction that they should go. In that, it means the parents know that the government has now taken this issue of school fee on their hands. So which means maybe the parents can now start to work on how to make sure that some personal effect of their students, or of their children, are are being catered for them. I don't think like our parents can stay back home after the huge burden, especially when it comes to school fee and school uniform. You know. But now you're looking at sustainability, and you're looking at the numbers of the students who are supposed to go. Because, like, if you remember the Uhuru Kenyatta time, everybody was supposed to transition. Like, nobody is left out, despite the number that you score. If that is the case, then you know how is the school themselves, the principals and everything, run the school if they have inadequate finance? So which means, for long term period, if it is not well thought, or if the president do not have strategies in which is going to curb that, but it's going to be a very, very, very disastrous in the future, especially for this program, especially whereby people go without clear guidelines on how, especially when it comes to school fee, and how to see how those schools are going to run. Msimama Barigani.
Hali vipi studio hapo ndugu yangu?
Niko salama, wewe niambie uliko, kuko aje?
Bwana, huko tunamshukuru Mungu. Siku tumeiona
Mm,
salama kabisa, na pia tunamshukuru Mungu kurudi papa hapa tena na
amen.
kuweza kuyajenga na wenzangu
Mm. Okay, asante
tuone.
sana. Asante sana kaka. Swali ambalo tulikuwa tunauliza hapa ni kwa sababu jana rais alitoa kauli, na kauli alisema kwamba watoto wote ambao walifanya mtihani inafaa waende shule, unaona, bila kujali school fee ama uniform, wanafaa waende. Lakini tunasema kwamba ni kauli mzuri, na ni vizuri, kwanza rais alisema hivyo, lakini tunaangalia kule shule. Unadhani kwamba mambo haya yatatekelezwa ama itadumu?
Asante. Awali ya yote, kabla nijibu hili swali, basi nitakuwa sijajitendea haki ama sijaitendea nafsi yangu haki nisiposalimia ndugu yangu hapa Miguda,
Mm.
lakini vile vile pia na wale wapenzi wanaotufuatilia haswa kwenye hii show
Mm.
na wale ambao wanatuwakilisha upande wa pili, namaanisha upande wa comment section,
Yeah.
kama vile Paul na wale wengine wote ambao wanatuwakilisha upande huu. Kaka, unajua huu ni mwaka ambao tutastaajabu ya Musa, kisha mwisho wa siku tuone ya Firauni.
Mm.
Kwa nini? Huu ni mwaka ambao kila mtu atajaribu kuonyesha makali yake kwa sababu ya kuweza kujiandaa na kile ambacho kimekodolea macho pale mbele.
Mm.
Sasa hapa ndipo tunaposhika nazi na kusukasuka, hatimaye mwisho kulipata koroma.
Mm.
Maana hapa tutachagua nazi kwa sana, kisha mwisho tulipate koroma.
Mm.
Ni naweka katika hayo mabano ili tupate kuweza kung'amua haswa hayo mafumbo
Mm.
mawili kutokana na hii kauli. Kwanza, mimi kama msimamo nashindwa ni watoto waliofanya mtihani wote mpaka nursery school, ama ni wale wa class 8 ama not class 8 bali wale wa CBC na wale wengine wa primary
Ni
na
wasibisi.
wale wa secondary school na wale wa university, ama ni watoto gani ambao labda pengine haswa kawaweka specify, labda
CBC.
pengine kwa hili ni wa CBC
Yeah, ambao wanajiunga wanaenda katika
grade
grade 10.
10 ya.
Yeah.
Kwa hivyo waende haswa mashule
Hao ndio kauli rais alisema, bila
sawa sawa.
sare za shule, bila pesa, waseme kwamba mtoto asibaki kwamba yuko nyumbani, lazima waende shule.
Maana wameshalipa kila kitu, unama watagharamikia kila kitu kucha hawa wanafunzi, ama ni kinamna gani? Unajua kila jambo lazima likitolewa kama hivi pia litolewe na njia zake, ili tuwe na taifa ambalo litakuwa lina uwazi.
Mimi kuna mahali nilisoma kwamba
Mhm.
takriban bilioni 44.2 zilitolewa kwa
Si mbaya, lakini je, kwamba shule zitagharamikia haswa kila kitu, uniforms, everything?
hapa kuna ndugu yetu hapa, wacha nimsalimie Paul. Wacha tu nisalimie Paul hapa, amesema mambo mzuri hapa. Kwa kimombo, the kid will use the junior secondary school uniform for a specific period of time to enable the parents to get money and buy uniform. Sasa Paul, ndugu yangu, mimi niko na swali. Ukiingia katika tuna swali kwa sababu unapata kuna mashule zingine wakienda unapata kwamba uniform cost almost like around 25,000, some costing like around 17. Hiyo ni kama one full year fee for for a day school. So how comes then somebody will raise this? Kama pesa ya shule ndio imemshinda. Sasa uniform kama ni 25,000, especially for those who are going to national schools. Some of them range between, even President talked about this, and he said that he's going to look into this issue of uniform. Some of them cost as high as around 38. The president said from lowest to around 17 to 38. If that one the parents could not manage, now tell me, when are they going to buy these uniforms?
Ndio hapo sasa ndo nakwambia tutastaajabu wa Musa tuone Firauni, maana kizungumkuti kinaingia hapo. Kwa sababu wazi ndio una mata zaidi, wala si hesabu ya pesa. Tutafanya hivi, tutafanya hivi, tutafanya hivi. ili kila mtu aelewe kwamba hili jambo linafanyika katika hali ambayo inaeleweka. Lakini ile kwamba nimetenga ama tumeweka bilioni fulani shule wanafunzi waende, bila kwamba kuna maelezo haswa kutoka katika wizara husika, lakini vile vile haswa katika wale walimu wenyewe, haswa kwamba labda pengine wamepata haswa hela hiyo, na kwa kweli inakidhi. Unajua, kuna wenye sauti hizi ambazo zitarepresent rais badala yeye mwenyewe rais kuweza kujirepresent, kwa sababu sauti kama hizi ni kama vile vile vyama vya walimu kuweza kumhakikisha mwananchi kwamba kila jambo limefanyika, haswa serikali imeweza kufanya fungu lake kiasi hiki na hiki na hiki. Lakini vile vile kuna wizara ambazo tunazilipa mishahara ambazo zina mandate kama hiyo, labda pengine waziri haswa angeweza kumrepresent rais na serikali yake kwa kile ambacho wameweza kufanya, haswa kwa huyu mtoto ambaye anajiunga na kidato cha kwanza tuseme, ama grade 10. But kama hakuna ule uwazi hapo ndo kunakuwa na kizungumkuti kwamba tu ni yale yale ambayo, na kama litakuwa lipo hilo, basi mimi kimtazamo wangu nitasema ni tonge la mkononi still bado. Na kawaida kama ni tonge la mkononi, ndugu yangu Ben na ndugu yangu Miguda na wale wengine, kwamba halishibishi tu, ni kule kujistiri, kisha mwisho wa siku tutaukosa ule wa mvuleni, ama tumepunguziwa mzigo tu, yani tumeweza kutolewa mzigo huo kwa kichwa, lakini tumeshushwa tena kwa mabega. Na Ben tunajua kwamba mwili ni huo mmoja tu, kwa sababu palipo bega na kichwa, mwili ni huo mmoja tu. Kwa tumetuliwa tu mzigo kwa kichwa na tumebandikwa hapa kwa bega, na kama ni hivyo ni kwa sababu ya kile ambacho kinakuja 2027 kuweza kutufumba macho. Nitaachia pale.
Okay. Asante sana. Labda Miguda, ndio sasa ndugu yetu pia amesema, Paul amesema kwamba yes, the parent will promise when to pay that 20k for the uniform and later date after working. That's fair enough. So even if the parents say that, okay, I'll pay this one after 20 years. See, bora tu mtoto anaenda shule. Hiyo itakuwa mzuri. But Paula was just looking at the sustainability. I was looking at the sustainability, especially when it comes to running of the school, especially because we know that there's a capitation, or there's the money that the government always pays for each and every student is around 22,000 and some hundreds for each and every school. And there's that now the parent it should always pay for the student or for the child. So now, is the parent still going to pay for that, or what is going to happen, or the government is going to cater for that? Miguda, if you have something to add on that.
Okay, I'd just like to add some few information to what Paul Kisianga. First, let me greet him and welcome him to the show. Then also respond to the comment. If you are in Kenya, the parents are not equal, because he has said that parents will pay after working. There are some parents who don't even work, don't have a job. If you look at the overview of the country, you find out that even that 20k you are saying on the uniform, some people can't get it. Even if you give them 1 year, they won't get it. That's the reality. There are some people who live hand to mouth. Whatever they hand today, they're going to use it today for food and other things like maybe transportation. Mostly people use food. That's what, if I go for work today, I'm being paid maybe 1,000 per day or 500 per day. I spend it on food because maybe I am having 4 kids plus the housewife. So most of people are in that category. They can't afford that 20k, even given maybe that 20k is someone saving for the entire year, for 1 year. So remember that those are the factors that you must consider. When you talk about the issue of admission, I personally have admitted a young girl, grade 10. Admission, we paid 1,300 admission, because they argue that they are going to prepare for her the student ID card. and
Mm-hmm.
photograph. So you must pay for those charges like photograph, the ID card, a cost of 1,300. When we downloaded the calling letter, we paid 100 bob for downloading that calling letter. So either way, there's nothing that is going to be free from the time you enter into that gate. When you're entering that gate, first you have to pay 100 bob from cyber, then you have to pay 1,300 for admission. So as you go on, as you proceed, you'll get other charges. You've talked about the issue of uniforms and fees that are pending. Uniforms we purchase at around 16,000. That is just a fee for the entire year in day school. And when you say they are going to use the junior secondary uniforms, when they are in class, remember, maybe we are 200 in Form 1, 180 are having proper school uniforms. They are
Yeah.
having three skirts, three shirts. But me, 10 of us, we are having the one we use in junior secondary from various schools. It looks to me that it's like a discrimination. You don't feel to belong to that institution. You don't feel to be part of the student. You might argue that you should focus on academics, not uniform, but that is not proper. That psychologically already you have drained the student, because as the colleagues are moving on swiftly, he is busy thinking of how the parents will get uniform for him to fit. Remember, even when they're going for the context, like science congress or sports. So I don't have a uniform. I have to borrow from. So I'm going to be inconvenient as a student in that capacity. So all in all, what we are trying to say, it is a big challenge. We cannot just fix things the way President said that let us just fix things. We go with the junior secondary school, we work on that, uniform will come, fee will come. I tell you can end up in 2027, we can end up 27 without even that parent saving. At the end of the day, we'll say, okay, the entire year I've saved only 10K in
Mm.
savings. So it is sometimes it is proper to get real facts from the ground. If you don't focus on the national schools or category one or those professional parents, there are parents who they earn, they live hand to mouth, and those are the more in the in that circle.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. And Joseph, thank you so much for joining. It has been a while. I don't know where you've been. But Miguda, also, before I invite in Joseph, something also you have to look at. They even, the people, some of the students who have performed well and have been um, uh, given an opportunity to join national schools. And these national schools, especially from the uniforms and especially some other hidden, would I say some other hidden money that you usually pay on admission that are not included even in the calling letter. So which means that they can range from for up to around 15,000. So that if you're going to admit somebody in national school, especially, you have to carry something like around of 15,000 just only for some um, uh, expenses. So, Joseph, based on the directive that the president has
Okay,
given,
okay. Before you, I want to clarify one issue so that it can remain factual.
yeah,
Oh, the issue you have talked about, you carry other amount. Like I've told you, I told you when I was taking my niece to a national school just last week, but one. I had paid the entire school fees and I have paid for the uniforms and I did my own branding at home. I paid for all shoppings. So I carried an extra of 8K cash. So when I started admission, as I was moving swiftly, I had to stop. I had spent the entire 8K. So I had to call back and they sent me extra. So whatever I spent in that, I spent 20Ks in that process of admission alone. And until I concluded, there were some extra charges. Like, so I had to carry 20Ks extra amount that is not in the pay slips, that is not in the uniforms, that is not in the shoppings, that is not in the pocket money of the girl. So you understand what I'm trying to say is that it's damn expensive. So when we concluded, that's when I realized that
even if a child was called to national school, what you have said is quite challenging. And you can even say, okay, we have come here from the presidential directive. Okay, you are here. What do you want? Admission. Okay. Do you have 1,300? Okay. Admission alone gonna cost you 20 Ks. So you see, either way, there's still a challenge.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. And Joseph, maybe you can weigh your thoughts on the sustainability, especially on what the president has said. The directive is a very good directive. It's give opportunity to everybody to join the school. But now I want you to look at it in the side of the school whereby we have some other expenses that the school should cater for. And this one is usually coming from the parents who are paying the school fee. So how are they going to balance that with what the president said? Or the president is going to pay the school fee for 100% of the students who are joining? Uh, uh, check your mic. Check your mic or your phone. All right, so we will be waiting for Mr. Joseph to come and weigh his thought. As we wait for Mr. Joseph, there's also an issue here, Miguda, that we want to talk about, and based on what the courts yesterday made a ruling on the appointments that were made, especially by the president, their advisors, and so which means, from the look of things, they've been earning money unlawfully. They've been earning money unlawfully. So in that event or in that scenario, will they be able to refund the money to the government?
Uh, I, I,
Oh,
I, that's okay.
Joseph is
Let
there.
me just let me just use 1 minute. 1 minute, then I'll leave to Joseph. 1 minute.
Joseph, can you
Joseph, you
still
can still fix it. We are not getting you.
Joseph, kindly fix it? Yeah.
Okay, so I will say, you understand, we have a challenge. For
Mm,
instance, if today I was in a competition to become member of parliament, then my opponent has been elected, then I can move to court to protest his election. Then later, even after 2 years, after we have moved to Supreme Court, we are going
mm,
back to elections.
mm.
Then, or they can declare me that he was never elected. Then
Yeah.
they can declare me MP elect. So the question we have been asking, does this member who have been serving unlawfully going to return all the grants or the
Mm,
salary he has been earning? But we haven't, there haven't been that refund.
mhm.
Members, they never refund. You start afresh. So what I say, the people, that's why you find that when people get opportunity to be employed in government, whatever,
Mm.
in county or national, first what they do, after serving for 6 months, they usually take loan so that in case of anything, they will have already enjoyed their money, because you can find that some people went there illegally, or some people were not they never merited. So if at the end of the day you find out that, like, I have a friend of mine who was employed in the county government. He took a loan, he purchased a vehicle. Then I asked him, so where's the money? Okay, he told me, I'm working with my money. This is my money, my vehicle. So in case of anything, even if this governor goes home today, me already have purchased a vehicle, even if my job has been rendered. So you could just be in court. It will be county government versus, like right now, it will be the state versus the person who actually identified the issues. At the same time, it will take time. So there's no need, there's nowhere these people will refund this money back to the public. I don't think so. You are muted.
Thank you so much. I'm going to engage you on issues to do with the law, because, like, even there's also this issue of Mama Ida. We will talk about it to look at what could have been the reason for her appointment or her nomination by the president. Joseph, how are you doing? Yeah, we cannot hear you, brother. Try again. We cannot hear you, brother. Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, as we continue with things issue to do with the court ruling, I told you I will ask you about the appointment of Mama Ida. We congratulate her for the nomination yet, but now, where should the blame be? Because like we have people who have been mandated, especially to offer legal advice to the president, and even to advise the president on the decisions that are being made, especially when it comes to appointment. And we have also the legislative wing, whereby the they should always, especially when such like appointment are being made, they should also have the president accountable. And now the courts come and say this after so many years. Where is the loophole, or where do we not get it right? Hello, Mr. Joseph.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry. I had to fix my. I have used all the devices. I think they were not working. Sorry.
Mm,
Yeah. I have just come and found you discussing the topic about what the president directive was, that parents should take their kids to school,
yeah.
even if they don't have money. But the real question is, you want to take us to Singapore, but schools is a problem for even parents to pay. So is that factual? Are you even being factual with what you're saying? You're saying you want to have a 5 trillion budget to be able to take us to Singapore. But that 5 trillion budget, you have not heard anything about education. Education, if you don't have education, there is no need of you building those roads and everything you're building, as long as you don't have education. You can even be building those houses and everything. But where is the masses going to get the education even to be able to maintain those houses? So I'll come direct to the issue of education. I was thinking that the near future presidents who are going to come, starting with the the presidentship of Uhuru and Kibaki, they tried so much on how they could give free education, and it was not even very easy. It was a bit also, there was still money which was being paid. So I was thinking with the presidentship of William Ruto is where he could have made all schools free, and I was hoping that even the boarding schools could have been made free because we had free day school education. I was thinking that they are going to scale it up and make it free boarding schools, and all learning will be free until now we enter to university, where we could now be speaking about another thing. The next term government could have come. But now we are going back to where we were, that even schools cannot. How can you be, as a president, you're saying that people should be, parents should take their kids to school, and you know very well they don't have their financial capability is very low. It means you already know the problem where it is, and what are you doing about the problem? Are you even saying that you are going to have free education, or you are just saying that parents should take the kids to school? You know, if he was very serious with what he's saying and is very serious with this issue of education, what he could have just said, there is no need for giving these MPs CDF. There is no need. Because why do we give them CDF and even school capitation is a problem? Let every member of parliament be removed 50 million from their CDF kitty. That one will be money enough for us to be able to cater for kids education free of charge. You will not be having where you're going to as a parent and you're being asked about activity fee. Brother Miguda has said so many things are requested in the school, not only the school fees. Ruto only thinks that it is only the school fees which is asked. I don't know. Maybe he was teaching his kids in an all another system of, the schools they teach their kids, the international schools. As we have gone to these schools, which are either you call it national, you call it provincial, or any case, you need to have money which is set aside from the school fees. And Miguda has told you he went with 8,000. I know of a place you need to go with almost. Imagine, Brother Benson, you are a parent who is removing, who is taking his son or his girl from or his daughter from somewhere like in Homa Bay, and the girl has been called in somewhere like Kiambu, and you have been told that the girl should report and should be having such things. Every school has its own budgetary things. There's some
Yeah.
school you find the activity fee is amounting to almost 5 to 10,000. Another school you find it is almost even more than 15, because You find what the school needs. Other schools even are not even near where place where they can be able to get food in plenty. For example, a school in Kirinyaga is very easy because it will be having food in plenty. So the way the school is buying food is not as damn expensive as a parent who is taking a kid in somewhere like, well, let's say for example the area where there's scarcity of food. So the president is actually very is dilly dallying with this issue. He knows he has failed as a leader to be able to tackle the issue of education, and now what he has seen that the best thing he can do is say that kids should be admitted because he's feeling guilty because the kids already are at home. Do you know how much money I was told by one parent that he used to enter his kid in grade 10? He used almost 30,000 for only uniform only.
Yeah, it is.
And you have not counted even now the other prices that Miguda has told you there about activity fee. There is other ones which come with, even the uniform you are told you buy in school. You are told you go for an outlet that the school is the one who mandates. They want to get back the money in their pockets. They always eat together. So they tell you enda ununue nguo pahali fulani, usinunue nguo pahali pengine. So these things are things that are supposed to be dealt. We first deal with education itself was supposed to be free of charge. No even one single coin, even activity fee, even enrollment fee. The only thing that the parent is supposed to be asked for, it is only things like pocket money for the kid, things like uniform you should buy for your kid. Now, for example, you are being asked 20,000. You see, you can be able to buy uniform in phases. It's not like the same way you can do school fees and activity fee and everything. But
Yeah.
now imagine you're a parent, you're being hit in both sides of the side with the school fee, with everything. So I don't know why we need CDF. What is the CDF money for? I think even Dini Nyoro, as well as is working with the CDF, is saying that CDF should be cut. People should be cut the money of CDF and take it to schools because there is no benefit of me getting my kid through. There is no benefit of me getting my kid through grade 1 to 6 only after I'm told that I need a lot of money in grade 10, which I cannot be able to facilitate. You know as well that Kenyan parents are living hand to mouth. Kenya is not an economy that we can, I always feel very funny when a whole president says that we are taking Singapore. When 80% of the people in the country, they are living hand to mouth. They are living hand to mouth. Just go and look at there is a person who came and asked a very valid question. How many Kenyans have 100,000 in their bank account as savings? How many? And even the Kenyans who were around there, they could not able to answer because who has? It means that if you don't have even almost 100,000 in your bank account, it means that we are living in the poverty index line. We are not even in the middle income. Middle income means it is a country which can be able, parents are getting a certain amount of money, they can take their kids to school, they can be able to feed themselves, they can be able to remain with some money, they can do their own developments as parents. But in Kenya, we are living in a place where even food is an issue. What about education? And the best thing that was done is Kibaki came with an education model that was free. It was not so all that, let's say, free, but it was a very good model. But where have we taken it? We have taken it down the drain. Even Uhuru himself messed up big time because he was not able to anchor this into law. Why are we very fast in anchoring things like G10, not G10, the 10-point agenda into law, but we don't have the rush to anchor free education into law? Which member of parliament have you heard them talking about free education being anchored into law? I thought that the basic human rights of every human being is education. Education was enshrined in the constitution that every kid should be given education. But have we enshrined it in the constitution that the education should be free? So it is a high time that he stopped doing the PR. We are used to Ruto with PR issues. He always likes so much of the PR and saying that, well, what about those kids? How are they going to go and eat in school? Where are they going to remove the capitation for eating in school if the capitation is not even going to the schools? So let him stop the PR. He's a president of a whole republic. Maybe let him tell us that he's running a banana republic. But if he's the president of a country which is supposed to be functioning, let him stop with the PR processes. He's supposed to be doing the whole thing of giving capitation to schools and knowing how we are going to anchor into law. What is the need of giving an MP 130 million for CDF? Cut it off. Cut 70 million and take it to education. Put it in education so that if you hear any principal or any person asking you for school fees, he's supposed to be reported. So let him stop dilly-dallying. There is nothing good he has done, Brother Benson. There is nothing. Because he's the one who is supposed to deal with that issue. He has let health down. He has let education down. He has let everything down. So thank you, Brother Benson.
Paul, wacha kuniambia nicheke. Hiyo ni vizuri, kama atakuwa amesema hivyo pia ni sawa, lakini sisi pia tunaangalia, kwa sababu unapata kwamba kuna wenzetu ambao madugu zetu ambao wako katika viongozi, ni maviongozi katika hayo mashule, na ni swali ambazo hao pia wanajiuliza. Joseph too, I'll engage you. I was waiting for Makubura because I don't know how I'm going to do it, but like, let me give him a few minutes. If he doesn't come, then in the next 9 minutes, I might close, because like I have an appointment to attend and I cannot miss it out. So we were just talking about the ruling that was made by the courts about the advisors that were appointed by the president because they did not follow the due process. And also that's what was said, especially from the judgment, one of the rulings. But now the issue is, you look at the people who have been employed around, especially to advise the president, especially, or to advise the state, especially when it comes to making this appointment. And this appointment are just being made, I don't know whether they are being made because they're necessary, or they were being made because to bring in politics, like to satisfy politics or the political reward. At the end of the day, now the money that they've earned, especially, which is unlawful, so which means wamekula mshahara ambayo hawakukuwa wanatakikana wakule. Labda tu in brief, then Joseph will come. If Makubura doesn't come, then he might come to the show later. Miguda, so what is the way forward for this?
I think I gave out my opinion on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say those people are not going to pay. Okay, my conclusion is this. The reason why sometimes even you get ghost workers in a county or in government. So when they have been spotted and they have been sent away from working, always what they do, they ensure that you don't come back. There's nowhere you'll be employed. So you are being rendered useless. So that's the best the court will do to them, that they will not make a comeback as employees of the government. But they will not refund the money which they have spent earlier.
So who should be held responsible on this? Especially we have Attorney General.
The person who should be held responsible. You understand? I got your point. Even not only the president, even at county level, the county attorney and the attorney general. And like I've told you, there are sometimes they do things deliberately. They know very well that this, like, so do you think Mr. President does not know it is unconstitutional to employ people unconstitutionally? They know. Even the AG knows. But now, because there are things they just decide to do contrary to the provision of the law, that it's only sweet. If the law does not suit them, they will do whatever they will do. So I think that's how they operate, and that's why we're saying the rule of law. The rule of law, that's the way to go, not the kangaroo way, because like such remember, even right now, that's what the court has spotted. But there are people who are still ghost workers in that government. Remember, right now, as we speak, there are many people who have not been spotted.
And the courts also ruled that the salary for this month, actually, they should not, by the end of this month, they should not get salary. I don't know whether the exchequer will release the money, which is, or they will go against the law.
Maybe they might not release that. That is true. But remember what I've told you. The best they can do, they cannot be employed in future. But whatever they have spent, like I've told you, many people usually, when they are employed in that category, they usually
Mm.
take loans and they do whatever they want to do with that money because they know very well that when the law will catch up with them, already they have spent. For instance, if such person had a loan of maybe 3 million, then is now being fired. Already he has spent that money he ought to have spent all his time working for the next 5 years. So I think that's where the problem is. So sometimes it works out that way, but whatever the court usually do is that because it's a government who employ them, the government will later know how to sort out issues later. But with them, they will not be employed in the near future. That's how court will make determination. I wanted to say one thing, but Benson, before I will bring in Joseph.
Mhm.
Joseph has talked about the issue of parents. If you ask the parents how many have 100K savings, Joseph, that's a different environment. The real environment, concentrate on the rural because in urban centers, we are few. The few of us live in urban centers. Majority of Kenyans live in rural. Urban centers, you can talk of 100K as saving. But if me, I've been to rural area for 1 month, I've been there for the entire 1 month just in the village. And when I could afford breakfast, lunch, supper, my surroundings, my neighborhoods were saying, hey, bana, we uko na pesa because even if you spend 400 per day, you are rich. Uko na pesa. So if you go back to the rural areas and ask them, how many of you right now have
Mhm.
10Ks as savings?
Mhm.
Most of them don't have 10Ks for in their savings. Leave alone the issue of 100K or 20K. 10Ks alone, you can
Mm.
count maybe 3 people in the task sublocation. Maybe he was a school principal, maybe a assistant chief, or maybe a doctor who's around in that area, or a pastor. But most of the people living in the village, I can tell you, that's why they are crying there's no circulation of money in the village. So in that circumstances, you find that most of the people who have passed exams are coming from those areas and they want to go to school. How will they manage? So see, these whatever directives, it is just good in the eyes of the voter, but there are also some realities on the ground that must be checked.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph. As we continue, maybe you can weigh your thoughts, especially on the employment of, especially the advisors of the president and the court ruling that has taken. So what is the way forward? Are they going to be dropped from the office of the president, or they are going to continue to work as our friend here is saying? That those people will continue working as usual. The court has been captured by the state.
Thank you for Miguda to inform me that I did not know. So, brother, I want to answer that question about the people. I think starting from the old regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, that is where we messed up this country, and we messed it up big time because during Uhuru's time we got people who were called CSs. I know you remember the people who are called no CAS. Are they called CASs? And he appointed them knowing even if they were not in constitutional, they were unconstitutional. And I can see the whole trend also continued with William Samoei Ruto, because also it's like he's picking up from where his boss left, his previous boss, and he has brought in this kind of caliber of people calling themselves that they are the advisors. And I can tell you clearly, as Paulo has said, I don't think there is anything which is going to be done to them. They are going to continue as the way CAS has continued their work till the last minute, and they are not going to be. They are going to be given. The problem with Ruto is one thing has entered into his brain. He need to broaden the government. The government has been broadened enough because he needs to please certain quotas of people so that he can be able to remain in power. And that's why you can see the whole shenanigans of broad-based has also entered even into certain quotas of I want to put you as my advisor of legal matters. I want to put you as my advisors for economics. I want to put you. These people you're giving even that they are your advisors. The problem is, do they give you the right advice? If they are giving you the right advice, we could be saying, nah, these guys, even they are doing their best, their work. So what they can do, they can try to anchor them into law, but they do nothing. There's nothing they are doing for the common mwananchi. They are there just to siphon money for themselves and their whole friends who are there. So I don't think they are going to be taken any action for them. I think the court has pronounced itself, but the government also is very cunning. It's just going to say, nyinyi court kaendeleeni tu kuongea. We saw what Uhuru Kenyatta did. Court was given it's called what? They were giving orders, but there's no orders which were being followed. I think that is what now is going to be the trend of William Ruto in the next days to come. And if we are not very careful, even after 2027, if he's going to come back as a president the second term, he's going to continue with the trend of not obeying court orders. And now it is going even to be worse, because at that time he's going to need how to know how he's going to be able to broaden the government so that he can be able to buy the people he's going to run against. Because if those people he's going to run against, they are going to mobilize and be able to give him a tough time when he's trying to seek for his second term, he'll need to broaden the government more. So thank you, Marco Bura.
Okay, thank you. And Miguri, I'm requesting you for one thing. I'm setting my machine in 1 or a maximum of 2 minutes. So kindly, unaweza uliza just swali lingine tu ni set up and then nitakuwa fully in 2 minutes.
Okay, I think we'll just continue the issue of the court, whereby there's no trust in the court, or there may be the people who have been pronounced to be working illegally will proceed to appeal the decision of the High Court, and also proceed to appeal. If the appeal concur with the High Court, they can still proceed to appeal in the Supreme Court, so on and so forth, until they get back to their job. And that's very unconstitutional. We agree. Sometimes when the court is captured by the state, we expect such moves, we expect such decision, but the reality still stands out that the offices, all the jobs which those people were carrying out in the government offices were actually unconstitutional in terms of even the salary and remuneration. How do they pay people who are not supposed to be paid? How are they reporting to government offices? And government there have the entities to fish out people with such characters. But you find out that all in all, it is being fueled by the big man syndrome, because I know a tall relative somewhere, I can work and I'll work. And right now, wherever they are, they say they will continue working. So I think that has been a norm. What Joseph was trying to say, it has been a norm in the country whereby each and every regime comes in when we have concluded appointing people in accordance with the constitution. The people who are remained behind, who supported us, or who are our relatives, we see on how to fix them in different departments unconstitutionally, provided they are getting their salaries. So they cater for the people who stood by them, their relatives, through taxpayers' money. That's now where the rubber meets the road. So all in all, I can just say we still need a lot to do as a country, to review many things as a nation. And this time round, court should just stand with the people, even if the court has been captured. The decision of a judge should not be captured. The opinion of a judge should not be captured. The judge should make decision or termination based on his own or her own school of thoughts, with the references to the precedents and whatever. So I think that is my take. Makubura, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguri. And sijui yetu ameenda wapi, lakini ni sawa. So allow me to say hi to Goodyear. Can see Goodyear has joined us, and not forgetting Paulo. Thank you so much for also finding time to be with us. And who else? You can see Joseph was here with us, and yeah, everyone joined us. I want to take this opportunity to first acknowledge and to say a big thank you for your time. Just find that to join us and to be with us. We don't take it for granted. And so, Miguda, since I did a little bit late, I'm not so sure of exact points you've discussed. So maybe if you can give me a brief, so that I can also give my views, as you will be directing me. Good.
Okay, so far we have had two discussions. The first one, we discussed the issues of the presidential directive to principals and schools that the people who actually did their exams should be admitted to the grade 10. Everybody should be admitted free without paying a penny. And you suggest that the ones without uniform should just use their previous uniform, the junior secondary schools. So we have discussed many issues to do with the school fees, school uniforms, admission fees. We have discussed so many issues to do with the parents, the savings for parents, income, how do parents work, and we have measured our discussion on the entire country, whereby most of Kenyans are in rural areas, and the difference between the people in rural and the urban centers. You can weigh your views on all those issues. And secondly, we have also discussed the issues of court nullifying the people who are actually appointed unconstitutionally, who have been earning money and they are not properly constituted into their offices. How is that one gonna affect us? How are the people gonna be taken out of the job or later, so on and so forth? So you can discuss those issues as you proceed. And as also Msimamo has been here, so you will be engaging Msimamo later.
Okay. Thank you so much. And kindly confirm if I'm still cracking, because Goodyear is saying I'm cracking. Am I clear?
You are not clear, you are breaking, you are kinder breaking.
Yeah, kabisa simpati poa.
Okay, basi pea Msimamo nafasi. Msimamo, you can give your take as I log out and log
No,
in
you are now
again.
clear. You are now
Fix.
clear. Just proceed. Proceed. Don't fix anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would want to give my views first concerning the schools. We saw the schools were being reopened, and we've had quite a lot. The people are crying. There is no stability. Let me put it that way, because the government itself is saying there's money. Well, on the real issues is you find that parents are struggling whenever they're taking their kids to school, and quite a number of students have also not joined. And the question, I mean, the reason is they're saying it is costly. They do not have the money. On the other hand, we are seeing some members of parliament saying that education is free, courtesy of the implementation of certain things that they are coming up with. And me, if you ask me, I think the best thing the government should do is, we've always been told, and we know that since the introduction of free primary that was introduced by the late President Kibaki, we saw quite a lot in terms of increase in the number of students coming to school. We saw a lot in terms of the many young people or students getting the knowledge, something that has really improved has improved a lot in terms of knowledge and all those kind of things. what I can say that do something by ensuring that they invest more in the education department, because that needs
Mjomba, unakatika katika
a lot
sasa.
of
Now you can drop and come back. You are breaking. Just drop and come back. You're breaking. You are breaking. Marco Bura, you are breaking. Just drop. Msimamo, maybe you can conclude the second question.
Ya, mimi naweza nikaongezea pale niliacha kwamba elimu si jambo la kuchezewa. Elimu tangia awali ndio mambo makuu ambao waasisi wa hili taifa waliweza kuyaweka mbele, likiwemo njaa, lakini vile vile kutoa na ujinga ambao ndio hiyo elimu. So katika hiyo misingi inafaa kiongozi ambaye ataweza kushika hatamu aijengee misingi ambayo hata pindi atakapotoka katika hatamu ya uongozi, basi yule ambaye ataweza kushikilia badala yake aweze kuendeleza pale ambapo ameacha. Na kwa kufanya hivyo ni kwa mipango ambayo ina uwazi thabiti, ambayo imepangika haswa kisawasawa machoni mwa wananchi, kwamba kitakuwa ni jambo endelevu, si jambo la short term. Elimu haina haja ya short term. Elimu inataka haswa long term solutions ili iweze kuboreka haswa katika hali ya usawa, lakini pia ili iweze kuwa rahisi kwa Mkenya haswa yeyote ili kuweza kuaccess elimu, kwa sababu ndio uti wa mgongo wa hili taifa. So hivi vitimbi ambavyo tunavishuhudia, kwangu mimi ninasema ni kwamba ni siasa tu. Uamke tu kwamba watoto endeni shule, basi ni kutuonyesha kwamba labda pengine haswa tumerejeshwa pale nyakati za zamani za mzee akisema amesema. Lakini tukumbuke kwamba, je, hizi pesa zimefika kwa elimu? Wathibitishe, wizara husika ithibitishe, ione kwamba imejenga hii, kwamba kama ni hawa watoto kuendeleza na masomo itaendelea, si jambo kwamba baadaye kwamba ni shikilizi, kisha alafu baadaye mzazi akipata mbavu arudia tena pale alipokuwa. So sijaona kwamba hili jambo la elimu kwamba haswa limepata suluhu katika njia hii, zaidi ya kwamba ni siasa, ili wananchi waone kwamba sasa hivi rais wetu ameweza kuleta masomo kwa bure, kwa sababu wengi sasa hivi wana narrative kwamba, hata mimi ndio maana nimuuliza hapa kwamba je, ni wanafunzi wapi, kwa sababu nilikuwa sijaelewa kwamba ni hawa wa CBC ambao wanaenda grade 8 peke yake. Wengi sasa hivi hapa mtaani unasikia kwamba ukisikiza haswa maoni ya wanasema sasa hivi elimu ni bure. Mimi kwamba ni ile kutafuta sympathize kwa wananchi na kuwauzia matumaini, mwisho wa siku wapambane na hali yao, na pia mfumo ambao upo. Mzazi lazima pia ataguswa tu, kila elimu lazima ataguswa tu. Kwa hivyo swala la elimu si swala la kutiliwa siasa, ni swala ambalo linafaa haswa kujengewa msingi kaswa katika uongozi ambao upo, ili kusudi haswa yule ambaye pengine huenda kule mbele atakuja kuchukua hatamu hizo, basi awe kwamba amejengewa misingi thabiti katika elimu, na ambayo itakuwa ni rahisi kwa mtoto yeyote haswa wa taifa hili, awe baba yake ni kizito, awe ni maskini, ni chochole, maisha ya uchochole, lakini kupata elimu, wanapata elimu sawa haswa katika hili taifa. Anapata nafasi ya kuweza kujiunga chuo kikuu, anapata nafasi ya kuweza kujiunga shule ya upili, yani hii mambo yarekebishwe zaidi. So ni lazima yatafutwe misingi, si siasa. So kuamka na kusema waende shule hata na wakiwa na nguo zao za nyumbani waende, sawa, watakwenda, lakini je, litadumu kwa muda gani? Lazima tupewe hilo jibu. Is it kwa muda kidogo tu ili mzazi avute pumzi, ama ni jambo endelevu? Mimi nitaongezea kwa hapo, naona kakaangu amerudi. Asante.
Thank you, Msimamo, for giving me your take. But I also wanted, allow me to finish my points. I wanted to say that the government needs to do more investment
in the education system, sector, because it is only education that can make son of a peasant to get or sit in a table with the dynasties. So it is again the only way to solve the economical and all the political, all the challenges that are being faced by different sectors. So I had the proposals that were being brought forth by Honorable Ndindi Nyoro about reduction of NGCDF allocation and directing part of that money to the education department as a way of consolidating and also solving the differences that are there. I think it's a good proposal because the government needs to do more investment so that Kenyan citizens, especially the young, whether in primary or in high school, they need to get an opportunity to study and to get the right knowledge. Of course, whenever they get this knowledge, in one way or another, it will be a positive thing for the country in matters of innovation and, of course, implementation of quite a lot. That, of course, will make the economy of the republic to get higher. And again, things to do with industrialization and all those kind of things. We'll get a lot of innovation and talents from the knowledge that these young people would have gotten from the field. So I'm also urging the government. It is right to invest in education. It is right to use the right mechanisms. It is right to ensure that the children of the peasants and the dynasties get the right education, and let them emphasize on making the education easy, or making it easy for people to access it, because it is the only positive thing that any serious government that wants to solve problems and the challenges of a country, that is what they are supposed to be investing on. Ndidi Nyoro gave a good proposal. It is one that should be implemented. It cannot. The question that the people of Kenya are asking is, why is it that in Kiharu or in Madeira, students are not paying fee, while in other constituencies, the students are paying fee? I think this is a national issue that needs to be tackled by the national government, and to ensure that all the children or students in whichever counties they're in, they are not supposed to be paying the school fees. Instead, the government needs to cater and sort the all expenses that are incurred. If President William Ruto decides to do that, I think it would be one of the best legacy that it will leave. It will be one of the best legacies of reminding or ensuring that the hustlers he has always talked about and their lives and their futures are catered for. That would be my comment on the same. So, Miguda, maybe something else that you guys talked about that I need to give my views before.
You should give your views on this one. You then after you have given your views, you also allow Msimamo to give your views. So you give your views, all of you. The issue of advisors. I've asked you that question. Can we just go on?
Okay. Yeah, we saw quite a number of. It was a huge list, a list of 21 persons, and all these people are being paid similar as the cabinet secretaries. And then the question that was then raised by the people of Kenya is, which benefit are they bringing forth? Which, Kenyans are benefiting of what exactly from them? And then the president said that they're all advisors. Uh, I think this is one way that the government has used to take money from the people, because it does not make sense having 21 advisors being paid millions of money every month. Actually, they're spending from the quotation that is coming out is that Kenya might be saving if the government decides to follow what the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya says, and as per the ruling of the court, Kenyans will be saving 500 million every month. That is enough to cater for free education in the Republic of Kenya. That is enough to cater for the medical expenses, building the right hospitals for the country every month. That is enough to ensure that every constituency gets, a serious hospital. And it is unfortunate because you've seen this government creation of positions. Look at the CAS, something that they were bringing forth, while on while the truth of the matter is that it is against the constitution. It is neither here nor there, and they want to implement such kind of things. So it is a burden to the citizen, a citizen that is already paying a lot of tax, a citizen that is already paying the affordable housing, something that they are not even guaranteed whether they're going to be given or not. The truth of the matter is that they're not going to be given. So the citizens of the Republic of Kenya are burdened, they're paying a lot of tax. It is right for the government to relieve them from the many difficult, the big yoke that they are carrying of paying people who are not assisting them in one way or another. It is a burden for the economy. It is something that can be used, that allocation of money can be used to drive the economy and even increase quite a lot. So being positive sometimes is the best thing. And I wonder why an advisor will be paid similar amount as per the cabinet secretaries. To me, it is a burden to the people of Kenya, and they need to relieve the people of Kenya out of that debt. Ms. Mama, you can give us your take on the same before we move to the next. Ms. Mama, can't hear you. I don't know whether you're there or not.
I'm audible really.
Nakusikiza, endelea.
Hello. Yes. Uh, unajua kabla ya yote wacha nisalimie ndugu yangu James Kona hapo na ile mwingine amejiunga nasi pia upande wa comment section. Cha msingi hapa tunashindwa na yani, kile ambacho kinatutatiza kama taifa ni mipangilio thabiti ya kudumu kama taifa haipo. Tunapata ni kubambanya, kila jambo linabambanywa lionekane sawa. Na linabambanywa vipi? Pesa nyingi ambazo badala zitumike haswa kwa mambo yenye tija, zinatumika katika mambo ambayo hayana tija, ambayo yako kinyume na kinzana na katiba. Hivi vyeo ambavyo vinatafutwa ni vya urafiki. Hawa waliweza kutusupport, lazima pia wapate nafasi, kwa sababu kuna ile msemo kwamba serikali ni kubwa, keki ya serikali ni kubwa, inaweza toshea kila mtu. So unakuta sasa tunaumizwa wananchi kwa kuweza kubandikwa mzigo ambao unatulemea, lakini kuweza kuondoa inakuwa ngumu. Kwa hivyo ndo hapa unakuta anakuja na mfumo haswa wa kuweza kutulia huo mzigo kwenye kichwa, kama hii elimu vile amezungumza, ameutoa mzigo kwenye kichwa cha mzazi, badala uweke chini ameuregesha kwenye bega la mzazi. Kwa hiyo ukapumzika hicho kichwa, lakini bado mzigo unamlemea kwa sababu bado kwenye bega, na ni kwa sababu ya hii mipango kutopangika haswa kikamilifu. Hapo umesema vizuri kwamba tunaweza save hiyo pesa kwa mwezi, of which pesa hiyo kama ingekuwa haswa kiongozi anajali, ana utu, ana roho ya uendelevu na kulitafutia misingi bora hili taifa, basi angeweza kusave hii pesa, angeweza kupunguza haswa hata haya masuala ya kuweza kuajiri watu wengi kama hivi, na kuweza kusave hii pesa na kuweza kufanya yenye tija kama swala hili la elimu, kuweza kuifanya iwe free, ili mzazi abaki kumwangalia mtoto wake na uniforms, lakini akifika shuleni mambo ni sawa. Mzazi awe gharama yake ni kumtoa mtoto wake hapa kumpeleka hospitali, ama mgonjwa wake kumpeleka hospitali, maana huduma zinapatikana haswa kisawasawa. That's what we call first world. But hii first world hii na mahesabu haya ya hawa expertise na wanakula mishahara kinyume na katiba, basi ni kuipa mgongo haswa katiba. Na kama tutaipa mgongo katiba, je, tunaelekea wapi kama taifa? Kwa hivyo hatutakuwa na taifa la kubambanya kila jambo, lazima libambanywe lionekane machoni kwa kuzungumzwa. Wakenya tunahitaji jambo ambalo litafanywa kwa vitendo. Huko ndiko kujenga msingi haswa wa vile vizazi vinavyokuja vienjoy taifa lao ambalo limekomaa kwa miaka 60 na kitu sasa hivi. tangia lipate uhuru. Kwa hiyo tukisema shida yetu ambayo inatusibu kama Wakenya si chama hiki ni maarufu, ni poor governance. Tukipata viongozi watakaowajibika na kujali taifa na kufunga mianya haswa ya hii pesa ambayo inatumika kiholela, lakini vile vile na vyeo ambavyo vinabandikwa kinyume na katiba, tutakuwa tumepona. So all our eyes, na macho yetu kama Wakenya, jukumu letu ni kuhakikisha kwamba huongoza hata ubambanywa kinamna gani, hata waleta Raila Odinga wampe kazi gani, haijasaidia jamii. Ni kuteka views, maoni ya Wakenya yagawanyike, haswa yakishagawanyika inakuwa rahisi haswa hawa watu kupita katikati. So wakisema ni watermelon Kalonzo, watermelon wa kwanza ni hii serikali inajionyesha haswa vile ambavyo inataka kupita katikati kwa kuweza kujenga matumaini badala ya vitendo. Mimi nitaachia pale ndugu zangu, asante.
Okay, thank you so much Msimamo. Kuna swali hapa kutoka kwa kuna maoni hapa kutoka kwa Renakan, I don't know how to pronounce that. He's saying, I hear you have appointed Aida Odinga to UNEP as ambassador to permanent representative. Kenya ni ya maajabu. Yeah, so I don't know what I got to say about it, but one thing we know is that we have a president who is very clever, and he always takes advantage when to different situations. He looks and does an analysis, and then comes up with some solutions. I think he has looked very keenly, and he has seen what is happening in ODM, and he knows very well that the heart of Mama Ida together with Winnie are in the same side. So he has decided to work smartly as a way of taming Winnie, or taming those within ODM who still follows and believes in the narrative of Winnie, that he still cares, and for that matter, he has appointed the mother. Politically, it is like an advantage to the president's side, being that all those people who are opposing him might then not really have something to attack him, because he would say that he has even remembered the wife of the former Raila Odinga. But again, that is a political move, if you ask me. The only thing you can say is to wait and see the possibility. I mean, the positive things that it will bring to him. But again, we are waiting to hear the comments of Mama Ida, whether you accept that particular move or not. Simamo, you can give your take on the same.
Asante. Haswa hapo mwisho hiyo kauli yako ya mwisho ndio nilikuwa nataka kuuliza haswa. Je, baada ya kutoa hii appointment mama amechukuliaje? Amepokea? Ndio tutaweza kujenga hoja zaidi na tuone tutalelawaje, lakini kwa kiharaka haraka naweza nikasema kwamba yote haya ni kuweza kuzima yale makali ambayo huyu mtoto wa mwenda zake hayati mzee Raila kila likisema juzi kimeanza kuwatia mchecheto, na kama ulivyotangulia kusema kwamba tuna kiongozi mjanja ambaye anaweza kucheza na maneno yako kwa wakati. Kwa hiyo kama ataikubali hii, tutajua sasa mbivu na mbichi, kwa sababu hii ni ya kuzima tu ile joto ambalo lipo haswa miongoni mwa wale wafuasi ambao wanamfuata haswa huyu mtoto wa mwenda zake, na especially majority wengi ni Gen Z, na kama tunavyoona sasa hivi masuala na Nyota Fund vile ambayo yameshika kasi, yote yamelenga Gen Z wasije tena wakaleta bugudha na wasiwasi haswa kama yale ambayo tuliweza kuyashuhudia 2024. So tuna mtu viongozi mjanja ambaye si ujanja tu, huku kwetu tunasema ana ujanja wa jibwa la gongoni, yani kujificha na nyasi moja. Unakuta kama tunaona tunamjua tunaelewa haswa jibwa, unajua kuna wale ukishamkuta tu basi anajificha, lakini sasa badala jifiche mahali ambapo hataonekana, anajificha na nyasi moja. Sasa ni werevu wa kujificha na nyasi moja, mwili wote unaonekana. So kama haya mambo tunashuhudia hapa, kumwapoint kuna malengo, si kwa niaba ya taifa, ni kwa niaba yake binafsi. Kwa hivyo to me that's not a plus. Kusema kwamba school fees ni watoto waende shule hivi hivi bila mipango dhabiti inayothibitisha haya, to me still bado nasema it's not a plus. So ni haya tunaletewa kwa sababu ni 2026 hapa, kila kitu kizuri tutakionyeshwa kwa huu muda. Watu watajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba wanaonyesha kweli haswa wanakujali, wanakupenda. Hii yote ni kwa ajili ya huu mwaka kuweza kufunga kile ambacho kinakuja 2027, Mungu akijali. Kwa hiyo tusijipate kusiko, tuwe brave, tuwe wakili, tuwe makini, tuwe macho na tuweze kupima haswa magugu na mbegu, ili mwisho wa siku tusijipate na magugu badala ya mbegu. Asante.
Okay, thank you, Msimamo, for your take, and maybe allow me to just highlight a few texts here, where Paul is saying, "Good year, get used to tribal appointment. It is at the basis of you bringing what to the table." Okay, and Good year here is saying that I don't like tribal appointment. It should be on merit. Pathetic. Now, low, yeah, so there are quite a lot here. And I think Msimamo, labda unaweza peana tu maoni yako based on these comments before we call it a day. Paula is saying, Goody is saying politics and interest normally take center stage. Who knows? Who knew that her dad and now the mother will be dining with Ruto? Let's not sleep on the wheel. Ruto is cunning. Msimamo, utupe maoni yako, your views on these comments, and then we can call it a day.
Yangu mimi, maoni yangu ya mwisho na yale ambayo yanazungumza ndugu zangu upande wa comment section, yote yana uzito kwangu, naweza sema kwa ajili ya hili taifa, na lazima tuwe macho, tuwadadavue yalivyo. Kwa la kwangu mimi ni jepesi na fupi, nikifunga ni kwamba hatima ya hili taifa lipo mikononi mwetu kama Wakenya. Wale viongozi wakicheza smart kwa niaba ya hili taifa, basi itakuwa kwa manufaa kwa ajili ya sisi wote wa Kenya, lakini wakicheza visivyo upande wao, basi utakuwa haswa ni hasara kwa hili taifa, na kuweza kurekebisha hiyo hasara itachukua muda, maana mwisho wa siku utaweza sometimes talazimu haswa hata pengine haswa kuleta mwagaji wa damu, haswa maisha na pia uharibifu wa mali, kwa sababu hasira ikipanda, ghadhabu ikimwingia mwananchi kwa kuweza kusukuma hadi ukutani, basi itakuwa ni ngumu zaidi. So viongozi wafanye lao kwa ajili ya hili taifa, na pia sisi kama wananchi tufanye yetu. Tujue kwamba katiba imetupa mwongozo na nguvu, wacha tuitumie nguvu ile haswa kwa kuweza kushirikiana na kuweza kuambizana. Tusibebwe tena haswa na hili uvumbi ama na hii wimbi la usiasa, tena mwisho wa siku tukajipata tumegawiwa kama mithili ya nyoka. Ni wakali kweli, katiba imeturuhusu, ni wakali kweli, imetupa nguvu, lakini sasa hatuna umoja. So tunabaki kama vile nyoka, unakuta ni wakali kweli, wakiuma mtu ni lazima, kama hatakimbizwa hospitalini basi huenda hata apoteze maisha. Lakini sasa ni aghalabu sana kuwapata nyoka kume kwa mpigo. Ukimwona ni mmoja, kwa hiyo pamoja na ukali wake wote unaweza mpigia hesabu, wapi kwa kuanza na yeye. Ndivyo ambavyo tunafanywa haswa kama wananchi. Ndio maana mwisho wa siku tunajipata kwamba tumekaa kanga wenye chongo tunawafukulia wenye macho, lakini vile vile pia tunajipata kwamba haswa uh, uh, tunajipata ni wenye ambao haswa hatuwezi simama katika umoja, kwamba lugha yetu ni taifa letu, dini yetu ni taifa letu, maendeleo yetu haswa ndio uhai wetu, maana ndio msingi wa wale ambao tunawajengea sasa hivi, kama tulivyojengewa huu msingi na wale waasisi waliweza kuhakikisha kwamba wana sacrifice muda wao kwa kuwafukuza wazungu kwa ajili yetu tupate uhuru. So uhuru ule ambao tumepewa na katiba lazima tufuate. So tukiona kwamba haifuatwi kikamilifu, basi hawa hawatufai, na kama hatufai, dawa na 2027 tuje kwa pamoja, tuache ungome, tuache unini, tuende straight forward kwamba tunahitaji uongozi ambao utakuwa na tija, na tuangalie viongozi wale ambao tutaweza kuwakabidhi haswa hili taifa kikamilifu. Hili litafanyika pindi tutaamua kwa pamoja kuacha ushabiki kwamba hiki chama ni cha kwetu, sisi tutasimama na hiki kwa sababu hiki ni cha kwetu. Tusimame na chama ambacho kiongozi wake ni thabiti, ana utaifa ndani, hana masuala na corruption, yuko tayari kuhakikisha kwamba katiba ya nchi itafuatwa kikamilifu, na mwenye haswa amenyonya nchi asalimiane na sheria, ili sheria ifanye kazi yake, isiwe sheria kwa mwizi wa kuku anafungwa miaka 100, lakini mwizi wa mamilioni anatoka kwa bond, tena na mtu ambaye anamzungumzia kotini pasipo kuonekana. Liwe ni taifa ambalo lina haki sawa, elimu ile ambayo maskini haswa na mtoto wa maskini anakuwa sawa sana ule mtoto wa tajiri, elimu iwe sawa, ili tuweze kupata viongozi ambao watakuwa na tija haswa kwa kuweza kuliendeleza hili taifa, pasipo kusiwe na hii kwamba elimu ya hawa maskini yao ni ya kubahatisha, elimu ya hawa wengine yao wanaweza enda popote pale. Tuwe na taifa ambalo litakuwa na uhaki, itakuwa na usawa. Mimi hiyo tu ndo langu la kuweza kufunga nalo kwa leo. Asante.
Thank you. Miguda, anything else that is still pending that you're supposed to give our views on? Miguda?
Okay, Makubura. I hope you have asked me the issue of United Nations environmental program, yeah?
Yes, we've given our views.
Okay.
The appointment
Okay, let me give my view. She has been appointed to be a permanent representation here in Kenya. That is just politics. And I think that's why Winnie went to Kibra previously. She went there to demand that, what are you giving us? You are now sorting our uncle. If you are sorting our uncle, what about us? How are you going to sort my mom? What about me? And if you watch Junet's interview on Jeff Koinange Live, Junet said that Winnie wants to be Kibra MP. Then if she wants to be Kibra MP, there's no problem. She will be. Right now is the Hiala. So Winnie also wants the money that even me, I want to be Kibra MP. How are you going to sort? So they have told Winnie, okay, you are going to be Kibra MP. We have sorted your mom, but remain united. So politics, my friend, that's politics. That is politics. That is politics. That is it. That is it, because there is no urgency or need for appointing Mama Ida. You know why? Why Mama Ida at her age right now? We have is the you know, Ababu Namwamba was very competent. Ababu Namwamba was appointed on meritocracy. Ababu Namwamba understand international relations effectively. You know, yeah, she has now replaced Ababu Namwamba, who was there in that position. So you understand, you are being sacrificed for the sake of realignments. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let's wait and hear from Haida, then we'll come for a robust conversation.
Maybe you can give us a final remarks, Miguda.
Okay, thank you. I just want to appreciate you for hosting the show. Initially, we are here with Brother Benson. We begin very well. We have end well. Thank you for coming to the show. Msimamo and also Joseph Kariuki, who was actually here. I also want to appreciate our good friends, Goodyear from the comment section, for coming to the show and contributing to the above subject. I also want to, Ayaga has just come right now. Ayaga, tomorrow, make sure you come very early so we can. We have been waiting for you, Ayaga. Actually, Ayaga, we have been waiting for this. It's a discussion you're supposed to discuss here. So I think we will ask you those questions when you come back to the show. And also, I want to pass my greetings to you, Ayaga. Happy New Year for the first time seeing you since we begin this year. I want to appreciate Paul Kisiangas and they are somebody. So hopefully, by God's grace, we'll meet tomorrow. And okay, we'll discuss. Bye bye, Makubur.
Maybe Miguda, just a minute before you leave. The president commented something about Didi Njoro. I don't know whether you saw that.
There are many things about Didi Nyoro going on social media. People, including the president, Salasia.
Yeah, would
He
you
also got
kindly, before you
critics.
leave, yes, kindly give us just a view from the criticism that is getting from his colleagues, and then his take about Safaricom and the revert that the president has been giving, and some cabinet secretaries about it.
What I understand, in an institution like parliament, there must be someone who is the president favorites, like the Molom MP, Kimani Kuria. That is Ruto's favorite. Then you find out that Didi Nyoro also is Ruto's favorite. There are things people know about shares in Kenya Power, Safaricom, and also Didi Nyoro might be having other sources to fund his constituency. He does not rely on the NGCDF alone. You never know. He's coming from Muranga. Maybe the Muranga billionaires have decided to make him, or they want to made him. They want to made him as a future leader of that region, or as a Mount Kenya. So that when I was in a certain hospital. So when we were watching news, mainstream media, Citizen TV, we saw adverts of Didi Nyoro. Then we were like, really, up to this extent? So I think they are preparing him for the 2032 elections. So in that capacity, they they are preparing him for the 2032 elections. This is
I don't
my
know whether
personal
it's on your
view.
side, Miguda, or your side. You've been breaking kidogo kidogo. We didn't get your last comments. Miguda.
Be
Miguda, kindly check your internet. I think it's not stable enough, and they wait for you to rectify. Allow me to just read some few comments. Good day saying Gideon was not far. You will get his reward soon. Rana here is saying, I pray that you are right. Ida may have not been consulted. That's why she will decline. Okay. Eric the Nairobian, please find time. Tell us when you are available. We need to have a discussion. It's been a while. I hope you're fine wherever you are. Miguda, are you there? Okay, yeah, so thank you so much. Part of the discussion we were having today is the elections of 2027, where the question over here is, will UDA or ODM pack give Ruto the presidential second term? Miguda, you can proceed.
Okay, I just want to conclude because I'm having problems with my net. I was saying, love, hatred, very common. Even you, when you are in schools, not that the entire classmates love you. Whether you are performing, whether you are the captain, whether you are doing the best, whether you are best in everything, you must get critics. So the Salasia issue should not be worrying, if at all Ndidi is doing it rightfully. But like I've told you, you might question. And again, I don't see anything wrong if today I'm the area member of parliament for Kibra, then I can mobilize some resources from international community or local to support my education kit. To me, I don't think that one is wrong. I might be wrong, but I stand guided.
Miguda, are you there? We can't hear you. Miguda? Okay, thank you so much. I don't know what problem is.
Migura, allow me to leave. Kindly, we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, Miguda, and thank you for finding time to be with us and to join us. We really appreciate. Not forgetting our good viewers. Thank you so much for as well finding time to join us and to give us your views. I just want to take this opportunity to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media, and over here we do say that your opinion counts. If you are watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Thank you so much and God bless you. Niguda, thank you for finding time. Good year, thank you for finding time. Joseph Kariuki, thank you so much. Not forgetting Brother Benson for also starting and being the lead over here. We appreciate so much. And our viewers, thank you so much. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate so much your time and just finding time to be with us. We don't take it for granted. We are so much grateful. Yeah, so thank you so much, Goodyear. Thank you so much, Ren. Thank you so much for the consistency. Thank you so much, Erika Yaga, amongst others, everyone who joined us. We're so much grateful. Santeni sana. We appreciate. I would want to just finish the show now. And, yeah, so we'll continue tomorrow. Allow me to take this opportunity to appreciate and say a big thank you to everyone. Thank you so much, and God bless you. See you again tomorrow.